Second Witcher book, Time of Contempt. Right from the start, we find ourselves in a fast action sequence. The royal messenger rushes with messages from King Aedirn to King of Redania, and back, delivering important messages regarding upcoming war conflict. Vizimir of Redania warns Aedirn that Nilfgaard is ready against any kind of attack. Before the message reaches Aedirn, we witness the tragedy when the messenger dies by a bowshot from Scoia'tael Commando, a shot which changed history. On a lighter note, we see Geralt visit a trafficker with information named Codringer. He wants to get information on Rins. He fails to get anything significant but wins a bet, after which Codringer needs to find information about Child of Elder Blood. We can see a continuation of the story from the end of Book 1, where Yennefer and Ciri traveled through Temeria to Gorsvalon, where they stop before crossing to the Isle of Thanedd, where Ciri is to board a school for sorceresses. Ciri is allowed to look around the city with an escort. While she and Fabio visit the local market, there is an incident where they are attacked by a freed wyvern. Ciri slays it but pretends she did not. She is chased and uses a magical amulet. Thus she is caught by two senior sorceresses, Desaya and Rita. We feel she is in a big trouble. Soon after though, Yennefer explains the situation to the sorceresses, and they spend time together in a local inn. They are a bit drunk, and Ciri uses the situation. She escapes on a horse during a night to find Geralt, who is believed to be in a nearby village coincidentally. During the escape, Wild Hunt descends on her from the sky and wants her to join them, but she's saved by Yennefer at the last moment, who casts a protective spell. Geralt and Yennefer reunite very quickly on good terms. Right on the start, we see Geralt agrees with attending a banquet of sorceresses a day before Conclave on Isle of Thanedd. Ciri stays in Aretuza on the island. Geralt is introduced to Chapter of Sorcerers, to Member of Council. He speaks with Dijkstra and with Vilgefortz, who tries to convince him to join him with Ciri on his side, since he needs to choose. Geralt opts to stay neutral, even though something is looming and we are certain he senses it. Meanwhile, Ciri wakes up in Aretuza and realizes the protective spell over her chamber was lifted. She has a vision and hears Codringer, companion Fen, to discover her descent from the blood of Folka. She also sees Codringer to die from the assassins of Rins. Back to Geralt. We are in a scene where he goes to pee in early morning and hears a noise. He meets Dijkstra, Philippa, and other sorcerers attempting a putsch on a chapter of sorcerers because of Vilgefortz allied with Nilfgaard. Geralt is tied by Dijkstra. He later uses the situation, beats him in a fight, and escapes to find Yennefer. She already woke up and she's not in the room anymore. The tension and the action for the reader is palpable at this point. Geralt rushes to Garstang in the upper part of the island, where he meets several wounded sorcerers who are fighting each other. Meanwhile, Yennefer and Ciri are already there, with Ciri reporting a war broke out during night in Aedirn. She speaks in a trance as a medium. To allow Vilgefortz and the captured mages to defend themselves, Desaya releases them and drops the field that inhibits the use of magic inside Aretuza. This proves disastrous when they attack Philippa and the other northern mages, while Scoia'tael Commando, working with Nilfgaard, invades the compound. After a chaotic fight in the hall, Ciri escapes on Yen's orders. She escapes Rins. She gets caught by Chapter Sorcerer Terranova, but Geralt comes to Ciri's and our Nerf's rescue in time and kills him. Ciri runs on because Geralt tells her to, and she beats up the Black Knight in a fair fight. She finally ends up in the Tower of the Gull. Geralt rushes there after a short while, but he meets Vilgefortz by the entrance. He wants to capture Ciri. They fight. Geralt loses terribly, and for us, probably surprisingly, but gets teleported away from the chaos by Triss. Few weeks later, we accompany Dandelion. He travels as an envoy to Brokilon Forest to find Geralt, who was teleported there by Triss to heal after the fight. They meet and he tells him about the news, about the incident on the island and the war which broke out. Geralt is shocked by the events. Edirn, Lyria, and Rivia are Nilfgaardian, and elves have their own nation in the east, led by elven sorceress Francesca Findebear. Geralt gets information from outside of the forest that Ciri might be now on a Nilfgaardian territory. Meanwhile on Nilfgaardian court, Princess Cirilla is presented to Emhyr, but he quickly finds out she is not the real one, and orders Rins and Black Knight to be tortured for their failed mission to bring her. He pretends in front of common courtiers that it's Cirilla and sends her south to a safe castle. We are shocked to see Ciri wakes up in the middle of nowhere in a desert full of big stones and sand. She struggles to travel west for days without proper food or drink on the brink of her life, and she uses magic to survive. She meets a unicorn which helps her find some water and fight a hideous monster in the desert. He gets wounded. Ciri uses a fire element magic to heal him. She's successful, but cannot handle the power. It's getting the better of her and whispers her to vengeance and kill people. Ciri renounces her magical power because she's scared of what happened to her. She's unwilling to travel anymore. She's desperate. In a few days, a Nilfgaardian group of hunters capture her, but we can see she already gave up. Nilfgaardian hunters want to bring Ciri, the prefect of the western neighboring province. She's desperate and doesn't even try to speak or escape. She feels empty without anyone and without the magic in her. Luckily for us and her, later she recovers her senses and ends up in a fight between the hunters and a gang of young bandits and escapes with the bandits. They accept her between themselves, stating it's dangerous to be alone. Ciri, full of desperation and contempt, joins them, and despite them being a group of murderers and abusers, she decides to stay with them because they provide her a sense of friendship and a safe environment amongst others. Local hunters suspect a young girl named Falka joined a dangerous group, but the prefect wants them all to be caught and executed without any interrogation or investigation. And that's how the second Witcher novel ends. Thanks for watching. That's all for this time. Feel free to subscribe since I'll see you again in a few days with another story about Geralt the Witcher.